Ladies and gentlemen, Tony Gaskins here. Y'all gotta forgive me, I had to get up and close my door because the music playing out in the lobby of my office and ain't wanting to pick up in here. But y'all also gotta forgive me, I gotta get 2 more black panels to put at the end of my wall over there, so don't think that's just the end of it. Just we ran out, we ain't have enough, and the people went out of them. But I want to talk about something that I'm seeing because, you know, it's something that we need to confront as men, and it's really our perversion. You know, we got to confront this perversion because a lot of men don't want to be held accountable. A lot of men don't want to be held accountable. A lot of men don't want to be around men who are pursuing righteousness and pursuing greatness in the things of God. See, sometimes men want to be around men who are dedicated and committed and sacrificing in the gym or on the job, but not when it comes to the things of the spirit. One of the things that I have noticed is how the young lady, Brittany Renner, who I know personally, she's exposing the perversion of men without even trying. And the way she's exposing it is she doesn't have a message for the audience of these men's podcasts. But Shannon Sharpe just brought her in. Deion Sanders brought her to speak at Jackson State, but you know, when I talked to her, she told me she was going to the school anyways, and they just happened to set that up like she was going for homecoming. But a lot of men bringing her around because of their own perversion, because they want to see her in person. They want to feel her energy in person. They want to feel her spirit in person. And to be honest with you, what you see online, you know, I know her personally and met her in person. What you see online is really, it's not the full scope of a person. And that's what I've learned from doing the work that I do and just being out there as a life coach, as an author consultant. But it just shows me the perversion of men and how they want to be around a woman that they see online that feels like or looks like a certain way. And whereas these same men could take and bring on men like myself and have a conversation that's gonna move the needle forward amongst men talking to men and men holding men accountable and men encouraging men. But instead, they would rather bring on a woman to just have her talk about whatever that is not going to help men, that's not going to push men forward. It's not helping or pushing women forward either. It's just really like a co-ed locker room talk. And no shade to Brittany or anything like that. It's just the truth of the matter. It's like if you going to have a podcast and you supposed to be using it for something productive, then you need to have a conversation that's going to move the story forward. And it's certain podcasts where her story is going to move the conversation forward, but not a lot of these podcasts that is bringing her on just because they want to meet her in person. And I'm not even sure if she know that they probably want to just meet her in person or probably see what they could get or probably see if she is like a prostitute or like a porn star. Like they want to really see it for themselves because it's nothing intriguing about it. It's like, okay, this is a woman with a big personality. You know, she transparent, vulnerable, whatever. But it's like, okay, what are we talking about? But it just showing you that even men with a platform are showing where they try to twist a narrative and do something and try to make it look like something that it's not, when it's like, really? You could be having conversations that's going to actually uplift your audience and motivate your audience, not just entertain them. And one day I know the young lady will step into that. She'll step into her purpose one day, everybody on God's timing. But it's showing how, and this is what I try to tell y'all, like the DMs is always open. There's no man on Instagram that's missing his DMs. And it shows me where the heart of men are when I could DM Shannon Sharpe and say, man, I want to come on your podcast. And then get no answer. It's crickets. But then I see Brittany Renner on the podcast. And it shows me something when I could DM a coach and say, hey, I want to come speak to your team. And they could go to my page and see all the Power 5 teams that I don't work with. And it's crickets. But then I'll see a gangster rapper that's in front of their team. And it just show you where people heart at. It show you where they heart at truthfully. But yet people will scream out, Lord, 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 God, God. But then they heart show you they not really aligned with people who really working for God. They not really aligned with people who really living for God, with people who really seeking the face of God, with people who really crying out to God. Because if they was, then they'll recognize soldiers of Christ easily. And it would be no question. It would be, oh, you on the front line for God. Well, I'm over here saying, God, God, God. I'm over here screaming the name of God. Let me bring you in on my podcast so we could have a conversation and we could push the story forward. Let me bring you in, talk to my team. I got a coach that I'm going in to talk to a team, Power 5 school, did amazing last year. I'm flying out Sunday. That coach called me because that coach got a heart for God. He followed me just like these other coaches follow me on Instagram and see me out there speaking to teams, and I write them and offer my services free of charge. It ain't even about money. Free of charge. Even with the podcast, I'm not even saying pay for my flight, pay for my hotel. I'm not even saying come to me. I'm saying let's have a conversation that's going to move the needle. Let's have a conversation that's going to move the story forward. A lot of times people will write me like, hey, Tony, go on this podcast. And I have to tell y'all, I can't invite myself on nobody's podcast. A lot of podcasts I reach out to. If you watch a podcast and I ain't been on there, then you and all your friends and your family all go to their page and put in the comments, bring Tony Gaskins on the podcast. And I'm not gonna come on the podcast and hurt their podcast. It gonna be nothing but good views, good conversation. But then let's see if they actually do it. And if they don't do it, that lets you know clearly, because you know what side I'm on. You know who I'm rocking with. You know I rock with the Lord. You already know it if you watch my page. Y'all got to give me these blue light glasses. These ain't Malcolm X special. These ain't got no medicine in it. They just blue light glasses. Because I'll be staring at the screen all day. So you already know what side I'm on. So if they don't bring me on, when they got to fill up a whole week worth of podcasts, or a whole year worth of podcasts, then you know where they stand at. Then you know where they stand at. They're not standing on, they're not for marriage. They're not for unity. They're not for family. They're not for righteousness. They're not for purity. They're not for it. They're not for it. And that's what you're going to see. So listen, it's finna be a line drawn in the sand. It's finna be a line drawn in the sand. And it's a lot of people that want to link up and kink up and be all buddy. But I'm seeing what the Lord showing me in this season is true colors. The Lord showing me true colors. The Lord showing me this who on my team and this who against me. That's what the Lord showing me. So I'm telling you, use discernment and keep your eyes open. Keep your eyes open. I ain't going to call every name because it ain't time yet. My time has not come. But it's going to come out soon to where I got to start calling names. I got to start calling you out. I got to start exposing you, because it's easy to deceive the people, but God will not be mocked. God will not be mocked. See, we can mock man. We can't mock God. We could deceive man. We can't deceive God. Know that. And if you happen to see this video, God wanted you to see it. God wanted you to see it. If somebody sent it to you, God wanted you to see it, so you could get your stuff all the way together and stop saying the name of God. Stop pretending to want unity. Stop pretending to want advancement, production, excellence, greatness, and all of that if you're not going to align with the people that's truly on that same path. I'm tell you right now. Hey, this Tony Gasson. God bless you. We'll talk soon.